All right, we are here for the very last episode of the King of the Cats Making of series. Last week, you guys had a great response to the video we posted about our reading at Head Start, and a lot of people were asking what kind of activities we did with the kids when we were there. And we figured that instead of just showing you the one activity that we did that day, we would show you a bunch of other activities that we liked a lot, but for a few reasons couldn't do at readings with a classroom full of kids. So we have 5 crafts here for you today, and I'm going to show you how to make them from start to finish. So let's get started with number 1. Okay guys, so the first project we are going to do today is the one that we do with the kids at the readings, which is making your very own kitty cat finger puppet. This is a project that, though I'm sure people have done it before, we kind of made up ourselves based on a few things, so I don't have a direct link for you, so you're just going to have to follow along with me. The first thing you're going to need is a stretchy glove like this. We went to the local dollar store and got 3 packs for $1 each, so if you're doing it with a class of like 20 or so kids, it's going to cost you around $7 for the gloves. The first thing you need to do is cut off one of the fingers like so. And then you have this little guy right here. And through the magic of television, we have one pre-glued with his eyes already in place. We hot glued them on. If you can find ones with sticker backs, it makes it much easier for the kids. But since we couldn't find that, we just pre-glued them before we brought them in. The next thing you're going to need to do is cut out little ear shapes from construction paper, like these guys right here. You want to make sure that they're diamonds, not just the triangle ear part, and you're going to see why in just 1 second. So after that, you have your ear shapes, you get a box of these glue dots, and then you open them up, and you want to stick the bottom half, well, either half of one of those triangles onto the dot. Like this. See? Then you're going to peel that off so you have your very own little sticker. Don't drop it. And you want to take your little kind of ghost looking guy right here and stick the ear, the glue dot part, onto the back of his head so that just a triangle is sticking up. And that's going to be your first ear. Then you want to do the same thing with the other ear right next to that one. So they're both poking up. He's starting to look like a little kitty cat. Meow. And then, of course, every kitty cat needs a tail. So you want to get a pipe cleaner and cut it into about thirds. That's what we did for these. That seems to be a good proportion. And then put it into the bottom of the finger and shove it through the back. You can also hole punch holes in the glove if it's going to be too tricky for the kids to get it through. And then just twist it around like this. Fold it up to be a little sticky up tail because he's a happy cat. And then put him on your finger, and there you go. Meow. Okay, so the next craft we are going to do is make this adorable little kitty cat planter up here. You can put any kind of little house plant you want in it, or if you're not the plant type of person, you can put paintbrushes or pens or any kind of little tchotchkes that you need a jar for. So the first thing we're going to need to make this little guy is a soda bottle. Then you're going to grab a Sharpie and any kind of thing you want to use to brace that Sharpie on. Because if you're like me, you're going to have some trouble drawing an even circle around it. If you're going to be using this as a planter, though, the only thing is make sure that you allow 2 to 3 centimeters of space above what your plant's going to need soil for. So then you want to take your Sharpie and tape it to the jar and edge it up to the soda bottle just like this, and then spin the soda bottle around, and this will help you get a perfectly even circle all the way through with no muss, no fuss. So then once you're done with that, untape your Sharpie, put your jar to the side, and then you're going to want to draw your ears. So what you do first is you find whichever 2 feet or 2 feet of the soda bottle you're going to want to use as your cat's front feet. And you're going to use those to decide where you're going to put the ears. So what you want to do on this soda bottle, I'm pretty lucky, there's a notch in the bottom of it. So I'm going to use that. If you don't have that, just go in about like 1/3 of the way into the foot and kind of go straight up on your line from there. And then draw a little triangle shape for your ear. Like this. It's a little tricky to see, it's transparent. Okay, there you go. And then you want to do a matching one on the other foot. So just go over to this space right here and then go up to the line. Look at it, make sure they're even. And then just draw another ear. Try to get it as even as you can with the other one. If they're not perfect, that's okay. You can always go back and draw a new line because this is all going to be painted over anyway. Then once you're done with that, you want to spin the bottle around and use this back one that falls in between the 2 front feet, straight back in between the ears, and use that as a spot for your cat's tail. Because everybody likes a happy cat, so we want a nice happy tail. So draw it on like that. And again, it doesn't matter how messy your lines are, just as long as you can follow them to cut. So the next step coming up is the reason why, even though I loved this project, we couldn't really do it with a classroom full of kids because it requires the use of an X-Acto knife. So now that your lines are all drawn on, you're going to take your X-Acto and poke it through the bottle and then start cutting your way around very, very carefully. But since this is going to take a while, I once again pre-prepared a cat for us, just like this. We also painted him to get him all nice and ready. So once you're done cutting him out, you want to take any kind of paint you want. We use spray paint. You can use acrylic paint too. Anything that'll stick to a plastic surface, really. And then you can paint your cat whatever color you want. Mine is blue. I wonder why. So now we're going to move on to painting his little face. So I'll see you guys for that in just 1 second. So now we are going to put a face on our adorable little kitty cat right here. You can mark it with a pencil first. You can lightly mark where you want your kitty cat's face to be. Then the next thing you're going to need are some handy dandy paint pens. I have pink and black. We're going to use pink for the inside of his ears and his nose, and black for everything else. First, we are going to draw in little pink triangles, like so. Okay, that's one ear, and then there's the other one. And now we're gonna give him his eyes, and let's give him some little smiley eyes. Make sure he's a happy little cat. And then last but not least, grab your pink pen again, and give him his little triangle nose. Alright guys, so that's it for him. Let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have another activity that we do at the readings. This one we found the inspiration for on Pinterest, and I just did a little editing to him to make him fit better with the King of the Cats. He's pretty simple. All you have to do is follow along all the black outlines. And as you can see, there's also some gray lines, and the gray lines are where we're going to fold, because what we're going to be making here is a little pop-up cat. So he's going to stand up like a cat in a pop-up book. which I think is pretty cool. For this craft, we are going to be making a fancy necklace out of noodles. And first you want to get your noodles arranged. The first 4 noodles are going to be one color. Then I'm going to put down a gray one, then another black one, then another gray one, and then another black one. So now that we've got that all glued together, you can grab a piece of string. Now, not only is this string going to serve as the necklace piece for this pendant, you can also thread it through each of the noodles in a shoelace pattern, and that is going to provide even more structural integrity for your necklace. Now that I have the necklace all put together, I'm going to grab my paint pens. Now you want to paint your ears on the top noodle right here. I'm just going to go down here to the third noodle, a happy little mouth. Alright, there she is, little kitty cat necklace. And now we have spoons. So this is another craft that's not too expensive to make. First things first, you're going to need to paint them. Then you're going to need to get yourself some googly eyes and some hot glue. So the second thing you're going to want to do is get a sheet of craft foam for your ears. This is going to work a lot like the finger puppet did. And then look, he's starting to look like a cat. Last but not least, we've got to give this little guy a face. And you have yourself a wooden spoon kitty cat puppet. Alright guys, that is it for all our kitty cat crafts, and unfortunately that means that's it for the King of the Cats making of series. This is our very last episode, and I'm really sad to see the show go. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did learning all about the King of the Cats and everything that went into making the book. Don't worry, we will be back soon with more awesome content for you, but for now, this is goodbye from me and all my kitty cat friends.